Wow, what a... Hello and welcome back to the channel, Scene with Chips. If you haven't been here before, then welcome, and consider subscribing and pressing the bell button so that you can see all the videos that I'm making throughout the year. Well, today it's quite exciting. The bike I'm going to look around in our vintage collection that I've been doing over the last few videos, if you've seen it, it's going to be a Type M, a 1916 Type M. This is a US male bike, and it's an absolutely fantastic piece of kit, as you'll see when I walk around it. But just before I go, I actually went to a wedding on Saturday, which is unusual for with all these lockdowns we've been having. But a couple of my old colleagues from work decided to get married, and they were both Wi-Fi engineers. Now, the wedding was a bit boring, but the reception was fantastic. I'm here all week. So this is a 1916 M. Now, the M denotes that this is a package truck. They actually made 3 versions of this bike. They made the package truck, which we have here, and they made a solo version, and they also made a sidecar version. And this is a bit neat, isn't it, as well? Look at this. Look, you've even got your postmaster's hat. I mean, how cool is that? So we've spent a lot of time talking about this bike. This is one that is really rare in the collection that we've got here. You see that the colour of this bike, 1916, was the last year of the grey and the white tyre. But it's interesting, isn't it? This particular grey, I've seen lots of CVO street glides of the modern era in this particular colour. It seems to be coming back very much so. Talking of the paintwork here, even in those days, they were hand painted, and if you look on the forks here with these stripes, they were all hand done. The detail that was done even way back as 1916. And interesting theme here, we've got a pump again. So no going to the garage to the compressor. You've got your own pump again. Do you know, when you were riding these bikes back in the day, I don't know whether they're actually designed for humans or not, because you seem to have a lot more arms needed than in modern day bikes. Just for example here, you've got a foot clutch down here, okay? But then that's linked here to a hand clutch here, not on the handlebars. And then you're going up here to a gear change. Well, how the heck do you ride a bike that you're trying to use 3 levers with one hand? I just don't know how to ride these things, or how anybody ever rode them. But they did, and they were very good. We've talked about the complex way of riding this bike, but that's only half of it. I mean, just getting it started is an art in itself. I'll just give you an idea of what you have to do to start this bike. Okay, so on here, you've got a lever that you pull up, okay? Now, I'm not going to actually take this top off because it's a very valuable bike and I don't want to break it. But what you would do is you would take this top off here and you would take that down and you would unscrew this slightly here and you would put that lever into there and then push it in, and then basically that would be a first early version of fuel injection. So it's like a manual fuel injection. And then here is you've got your choke that you pull out. But remember, when you've done all that, so when you've pulled your rod out of here, you've put it into the injector, You've taken it back out, you've put it back on there again, you've pulled your choke out. You've then got to come over here and you've got to kickstart it. So I should imagine getting it going is complex enough. That's before you even start trying to ride it. And just to add to that, I just want to say that all these bikes, all the bikes that you see in this collection here, they are all running bikes. They all have been ridden recently. So I'm not going to start them because we're in a very, very nice room and we don't want to get fumes everywhere. But yes, they are all running bikes, these. We have here the 1916 toolbox, which isn't round and isn't kidney shaped, but it's the very first version of the toolbox. But if we come over to this side, there is the key, and there is how the toolbox opens. Can you see there? And then down there, this bike, no electrics, it has a magneto to start the thing. So all in all, these are quite complex bikes to actually get going. But not only that, but it has gas lights. Now how is that going to be supplied? How are you going to supply gas on a bike to a light? I'll show you. On the back here is a carbide gas cylinder, and this here is what supplies the gas for your lights. Right, this gas cylinder, if we can see up there, it has a gauge on there, and what you would do is you would remove this here and put carbide crystals in and water, and that would create gas. And that would fill this thing with gas. This is actually just like the old miners' lamps. You know, when the coal miners used to go down, they used to have the gas lamps or the lamps to detect the gas. Well, and then that would feed this light and the front light. And these are the pipings that are going down to it. All very complex for a 1916 bike. When you think of the amount of design and work that went into all this in 1916. Really quite a machine again. I love the colour. I think the colour the colour actually fits with modern day colours, doesn't it? I mean, you see cars on the road, the latest Porsches, they're all this colour. Harley Davidson well ahead of their time with their colour schemes. Obviously, this bike doesn't have any electrics, because we've just spoke about, and so, but obviously to get through its MOT, there's no MOTs in those days, but it has to have a horn, and here we have a manual horn. Wow, what a horn. Wish I had one like that on my bike. That'd get people out of the way. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Obviously, this is a mail delivery bike. And so the mailman would be sat on his seat here. And so before he has to get off and get his mail out, they designed quite well that the actual mail box opens from this side. And we've still got the US mail. I wonder if there's any other letters in there that haven't been delivered. I don't know, maybe so. But that's very neat, the way that just opens, and he can just pick out his mail and go off and deliver. I can't really go into that. I'd love to go into that bag and see if there's anything from 1916 that didn't get delivered. But probably not. Okay. Interesting part of the actual package version of this bike is that all of the work, all the framing around here of the side, well, not the sidecar, but the actual package, all of this is all steel. But as you'll probably see, all of this is timber. The whole of the box is made out of timber. So you've got steel for the frame, but timber for the actual box. And look at the condition it's in from 1916. It's just phenomenal, phenomenal. Right, I'm going to close this down. Put that down there. Right, you see the tank here. The tank is split into two halves, but it's in three sections. So you've got this side, which is all fuel. You've got this side, which the rear end of it is gas, as the Americans call fuel or call petrol, it's gas. But then on the front portion, it's oil. Now, obviously with the bike having no electrics, you don't have an oil pump on this bike. So when you're riding along, you have to give a little bit of oil to pump into the engine. So that's just a little bit of added complication to riding the bike, if it wasn't complicated enough already. And that is your 1916 package truck. Fantastic. Well, wow. What did you think of that for a 1916 bike? And what's more, all of those bikes in that room that we've been following through these series of videos, they're all running vehicles. They can all start and be ridden. That's if you've got the knowledge to ride them, that is. Well, that was the 1916 M-Type, the US mail bike. The next one I'm going to be looking at is a 1930s V. There it is. That's going to be the next bike that I'm going to have a walk around. So please join me by subscribing and pressing the bell button so that you can see when I'm going to get that put up, and you can have a look around that one with me. Thanks, and I'll see you later.